conditional formatting is about to become your best friend. This new feature has been introduced in Clarity version 16.2.2 and can be found in numerous locations throughout the system, including the grid views for projects, ideas, staff, risks, issues, and changes. In this example, I am going to add some formatting to the Task tab on my project. As you can see, I am on the grid view within my Tasks tab, and you can see the Conditional Formatting button is available for selection. So I'm going to go back into my grid view and click the button for Conditional Formatting. On this next screen, you'll see a blank rule is already in place and is ready to be configured. Now I'm going to create a new rule that will highlight all of my tasks that are open for time entry. To do this, I will click on Add Condition and select my Open for Time Entry attribute, and I'll select Yes. Over here to the right, you can choose how you wish to format your data. You can choose from bold text, italic, underlined, right through. Here you can choose a background color, and this last icon will allow you to choose from a set of predefined format. I'm going to choose the background color option, and I'm going to select this green color. Now, just because we've selected Open for Time Entry as our condition, we do not have to choose this as our highlight attribute. You can actually choose to highlight any cell based on the criteria you've selected. However, in this case, I'm going to choose entire row. Now that I am happy with my formatting options, I'm going to click Apply. And you can now see our result. All rows where the task is open for time entry have now been highlighted in our chosen green background color. If you change your mind and you decide you only wanted to highlight one cell, I can go back into my conditional formatting and I can choose to highlight just one specific cell. Once I apply, you'll see that only cells that meet my criteria are highlighted rather than the whole row. If we go back into our conditional formatting, you can see we have a number of actions that are available. I can choose to disable my rule. This is useful if you're not actually looking to delete your rule, but you'd like to switch it off for a while and access it again later. This is particularly useful when you start getting into more complex rules, as it saves you from having to spend time recreating them. You can also choose to copy a rule. Again, handy if you have a complex rule that you want to tweak a little. And we also have the trash can icon, which allows us to delete our rules. Okay, now I'm going to create a new rule and set it up to function alongside my existing rule. I just need to click on the New Rule button and then start to add my conditions. So I will select where percentage complete is equal to 100%. And I'm going to choose to format my text. So I'm going to choose this predefined red color that is available here. And I'm going to choose to highlight just the percentage complete cell. So rather than the entire row, just the percentage complete field. Once I click on Apply, you'll see that my original rule is still firing and my Open for Time Entry cells are highlighted in green. And my new rule is also displaying red text where tasks are 100% complete. Now I'm going to go back into my conditional formatting and edit my rules to make the higher rule take priority. I'm going to update my existing percentage complete rule so that it will now look for rows where the percentage complete is 100% and the Open for Time Entry flag is set to yes. I'm going to format this one with a red background and red text. And if a row meets this criteria, then I'm going to highlight the entire row with my new red background. And just to properly demonstrate the priority of these rules, I'm going to edit my original rule and set this one back to highlight the entire row as well. So we have both our rules highlighting the entire row. At this point, I just want to highlight to you as well this guidance text here, which reminds you that higher rules take priority over lower rules. And once I click on apply, you'll see just what that means. In my grid view, you can now see that rows which are open for time entry may be highlighted either in green or in red. But those that are highlighted in red are the rows which meet our higher priority conditions. That being, they are both open for time entry and they are 100% complete. If I go back into my conditional formatting and update my lower criteria so that it only highlights the one cell in green, I'll choose the open for time entry. Then once I apply, you'll see that we now have formatting in place that allows us to see both conditions. This is because the higher condition no longer completely overwrites the lower one. The higher condition will still highlight the entire row, but we can also see our cell highlight for our lower priority condition. One thing to note here is that any fields which contain display mappings will continue to display these coloured mappings even when conditional formatting is in place. So these colours that you see here in the status column will remain regardless of any conditional formatting. Okay, now I'm going to create a new rule and I'm going to make this one my highest priority. So this rule will look for rows where the finish date is earlier or is before the current date. And I'm going to select a yellow background and I'm going to apply this just to the finish date cell. I'm also going to set my open for time entry rule back to the option where the whole row is highlighted. Once I apply this new rule, you can see the finish date is now highlighted in yellow for all rows where the finish date is earlier than the current date. You'll also notice that this rule is applied as a priority above all others. Now I'm going to show you how you can choose between any and all for the conditions you create. I'm going to edit my existing rule for finish date, and I'm going to add a new criteria so that it also identifies when the status is not equal to completed. Status is not equal to completed. I'll set the background color to orange this time. And again, we'll just apply this to the finish cell. You'll notice that at this stage, I have the all conditions set. What this means is that all of the conditions I specified need to ring true before color coding or formatting will take place. As you can see, the color coding has now been applied to the finish cell where the finish date is in the past and where the status is not equal to complete. If I go back and change my condition to any, and apply, you will see the finish cells will be highlighted where either condition is true. Here you can see cells where the finish date is in the past, and you can also see where the status is not equal to complete. Even though these dates aren't in the past, the status is not equal to complete. So either one of these conditions will cause the conditional formatting to trigger. You only need one of these criteria to be true in order for the conditional formatting to be applied.